What's up, digital marketing agency owners? On today's session, I want to talk a little bit about the positioning assets you can put in place to get expert status, to get clients to come to you pre-positioned to buy, and to really grow your authority within your niche. So if you're looking to improve your positioning and to really expedite the way that you attract clients, you're going to want to watch this video. Awesome. So let's get into it. I'm a big fan of kind of this hierarchy of authority, which is the reality is the more authority and positioning you have in your niche, the more proven results you have, the easier it's going to be to attract clients, and the more the clients are willing to pay a premium. And so what's interesting is we've identified 9 positioning assets you can put in place that will absolutely make you the expert in your niche. And so what I want you to do is, as I'm talking through these, I want you to kind of check mark the ones that you can say, I've got this dialed in, I've got that done. And I want you to make a note of the ones that you don't and build a plan to get these implemented as quickly as possible. Because again, this is going to make your marketing, your sales, and your growth so much more effective. So when it comes to expert positioning, the very first positioning asset that I always recommend is having a keynote presentation put together. So I don't necessarily in this case mean a keynote file where it's like, hey, I've got these slides done. What I mean by keynote presentation, I'd love for you to have a presentation in the bag that if you were invited to come speak at the national association within your niche, you'd feel confident that you could stand on stage and you could say, hey, here's the ultimate guide to internet marketing for roofing contractors or for plumbing contractors or whatever niche you're in. And it's just a 45-minute to 60-minute presentation that would say, these are the challenges in the industry, this is what you should be doing to really maximize your outcomes, and examples of what you would do. So if you don't have that, I really recommend it, because having a keynote presentation like that, first of all, you can use it almost right away as a webinar. Second of all, it will give you better understanding of what you can bring as value to the niche that you're in. And third of all, it will have you kind of ready and primed for when and if those speaking opportunities start to present themselves down the road. So 45-minute to an hour presentation, pretend like you've got your opportunity to speak in front of 150 to 250 of your ideal prospects. What would you say? How would you deliver that message? And how would you really make sure that you stand out? Positioning asset number 1 is your keynote presentation. Positioning asset number 2 would be the marketing guide for that niche. And so this is a PDF, an ebook, something where somebody could opt in and something you could give as a lead magnet as part of your marketing strategy. Really what I think is the ultimate guide to online marketing for plumbing contractors, for roofing contractors, for chiropractors. And what's interesting is this is very similar to your keynote presentation, just in a written format. And so what I'm going to suggest you do is put together that document, and it could just be a checklist, it could be like a more sophisticated where it's a written out document, but something you could email out to prospects, you could offer as a lead magnet, and depending upon what your modality is, if you like to write, then maybe you lead with the guide, right? And then you use the information from the guide to create your keynote presentation. If you're more of a video person or like a auditory person, like me, I like to create videos and I like to create content. I start with a keynote presentation and then I take the key bullets, the key content from that, and that's how I inform my internet marketing guide. But bottom line, we want to document a PDF or a Google Doc that we could share that's the ultimate guide to internet marketing for the niche. That people in that industry would say, hey, I want that. I want my hands on that. Number 3 is, if you're going to position yourself as the go-to expert in your niche, you need a great website with great content. And when I say great content, I see a lot of people will set up a landing page for themselves, right? So, let's say you're going after chiropractors, you'll set up like chiropractormarketer.com, and it's just a landing page that says, hey, if you want better results with your chiropractic practice, click here to opt in, right? And that's a good place to start. But if you really want to position yourself as the go-to expert, you want that niche website to be filled with value-added content. And there's a great book called They Ask, You Answer. And really, you could fill a niche-focused website with all kinds of information with the most commonly asked questions that people in your industry are asking about marketing. So in the case of us, we run Plumber SEO. And we work with plumbing and HVAC contractors. And so on that website, we've loaded it up with like how to get your plumbing website ranked for the most important keywords, what the most commonly searched plumbing and HVAC keywords are, how to generate better results with pay-per-click. And the list goes on and on and on. And by having your website be a hub of great content, it can get discovered in organic search. It can get shared in the industry, and it becomes a valuable place where somebody would want to go and revisit. And so maybe this is just a call to say, hey, you know what, I've got that niche domain and I've got that niche website, but I need to add to the blog. I need to add to the content. And a shortcut for this would be, do monthly webinars. Look up what I call the monthly webinar method. Do one webinar per month on a very specific topic, syndicate that out, and now you're going to have over time a lot of great information being populated into your niche website. Okay, positioning asset number 4. And probably the most powerful positioning asset of them all is case studies and testimonials. Really, the reality is anybody can say, hey, I'm the expert in internet marketing for plumbing or roofing or chiropractor or dentists. What really makes you stand out versus the competition is your proven results. And so as you get clients and as you generate results for them, be sure to document the outcomes, right? Be sure to show like, hey, here's what the client I work with, here's where they were when we started together, here's where we are today, and this is what we did in order to make that a reality. And that can come in the form of like presentations where you're showing screenshots. It could come in the form of written documentation. Hey, this is the client, and like really spelling it out for them. It can come in the form of you interviewing the client on Zoom and just asking them questions and getting them to share their experience and to share their outcomes. This is one of the most powerful things you can do. You should be really focused on making sure every client you work with has such a great experience that they'd be willing to be a case study, they'd be willing to be a reference for you, they'd be willing to jump on Zoom, and it would be a case study worth sharing with the industry, worth sharing with the world. I've got a training called The Case Study Builder, where I walk you through exactly how to create those types of case studies from your happy clients. Just type Case Study Builder in the comments here, and our team will grab that for you and send you the link if that's something you'd like to get your hands on. But consciously recognize, if you've got case studies and you've got testimonials, you will absolutely be positioning yourself as the expert. And as we get those case studies, we want to make them public, right? We want to post about them on social media. We want to email them out to our list. We want to find ways to share them with the industry association. So not only do we have these assets, but they're also being seen in the industry. That's what's going to position you as the expert. Our next really powerful positioning asset is video-based trainings and webinars. So this could be as simple as taking your keynote presentation, sitting down in front of your computer and hitting record on Loom or on ScreenFlow or one of these video capture devices and just recording yourself explaining that training, right? So that's step 1. Step 2, what I really believe is that you should be rolling out new video content in the form of webinars every single month, right? One of the most powerful things you can do to position yourself as the expert is to put out new webinars every month. Email them to the industry association, email them to the list, post about them on social media, and then syndicate them. Load them up to YouTube, load them up to iTunes. If you do that on a consistent basis, you're going to have an amazing library of great content that makes you prolific. Wow, this individual is constantly rolling out good, useful, valuable content. And it's also going to position you as the expert, right? If you're the one rolling out this information, you're sharing publicly, it's going to help you get speaking opportunities. It's going to get people to find you through inbound marketing. And I've got a great training on this called the Monthly Webinar Method that explains exactly how you can set this up, promote it, syndicate it, and make it happen like clockwork in your agency to have clients coming to you pre-positioned to buy month in and month out. One of my favorite strategies. Type the Monthly Webinar Method in comments and I'll get you the link for that and get you pointed in the right direction to access that. Okay, the next positioning asset, and this is from an authority perspective, probably the most powerful, is to published a book on internet marketing for the niche. And so my book for plumbing is called How to Triple Your Sales by Getting Your Internet Marketing Right for Plumbing and HVAC Contractors. It's an interesting thing, right? There's two things that people look to you as like, okay, you must be the expert. You must be the authority. It's two things. It's either the person at the front of the stage at an event, at a conference, the person at the front that's presenting, that's sharing information is looked to as the expert. The other is the author, right? If you're the author, you're the authority. And so I really want to encourage you, publish a book. This doesn't have to be super complicated, right? Create a nice cover, load it up to Amazon S3, take your keynote presentation or some of your webinars, have them transcribed, and you have a book. And this book can serve you in so many different ways. By having a published book, you can hand it out at industry association events and conferences. You can have it listed on Amazon where people can buy it. You can run Facebook ads to it and offer to send it out for free. You can use it in your direct mail. Like if you're doing a Dream 100 initiative, you can mail this book out to all your top prospects. And it will serve you really, really well. I highly recommend it. It's one of the key things we recommend all of our seven-figure agency members do, and we give them the process and an actual pre-written template to work from to get their book published and into the real world as quickly as possible. Okay, on to the next. The next really actually simple thing you can do to position yourself as the expert in your niche is to have a podcast, right? Because a podcast sits on Amazon and it sits on iTunes and it sits on some of these other popular social share sites, if you've got a podcast and you're adding value into the world, it absolutely positions you as an expert. And don't feel like you have to overthink this. If you're doing the monthly webinar method and you take the recording of your webinar and you load it up as just audio into iTunes and whatever the other favorite sites you have a podcast. The other really easy to set up podcast structure that you can do would be the expert interview, like where you just interview clients on what they're doing and the results that you got for them. Or you find people in your niche that are doing cool things and you interview them on what they're doing, how it's working, and just kind of featuring them. That simple process of doing one podcast per month will position you as an expert in the space. Okay, number 8 is retargeting. If you don't have retargeting in place, retargeting just basically drops a pixel on anyone that gets into your world and they're going to see your banner ads. They're going to see you on social media. And if you do this right, you're putting out good content, you've got people coming into your world where they're getting pixeled, and then they're now starting to see you across the web again and again and again because you've got retargeting going. Recency of impression share builds authority, right? If they're seeing you everywhere and you start to develop some level of omnipresence, they're absolutely going to be looking at you as like, wow, this person is constantly putting out content. I see them everywhere. They must really know what they're doing. I should give them an opportunity to work with them and to kind of have them be my agency of record. Now, number 9 would be to have a printed newsletter. All of these strategies are digital. Other than the book, I highly recommend having each of these in place. But if you can move to at least have a quarterly newsletter where you drop a physical, like magazine style newsletter into the mail, even once per quarter, it can massively improve your authority. And there's lots of easy ways to get a newsletter done very consistently and well. So these are the 9 positioning assets. I guarantee you, if you do these, you will be looked to as the expert. You will have clients coming into your world pre-positioned to buy. You will have people referring you that don't even do business with you because they see you and they see you as the expert and they know that you've got value to bring to people in that niche. Let me know in the comments, which of these do you have done? So done dash, I've got this, this, and this. Next, what are you going to focus on next? What are the assets you're going to put in place to build your cachet, to build your expert status, and to really grow your brand in the niche? And if you got value from this video, please take a minute to press the like button, press the subscribe button, share this with another digital marketing agency that would benefit. And if you want to go deeper on this, I do have a training called the 7-Figure Agency Roadmap Implementation Program, where I go deep on this, the ultimate agency funnel, the monthly webinar method, and it really kind of brings this entire strategy together. You can access that by going to 7figureagency.com/roadmap. For a limited time, I'm actually offering that at no charge, so you can get in there, you can get access to the training, sevenfigureagency.com/roadmap. That's it for now. Go check it out. Again, press the like button, press the subscribe button, and I'll see you on a future session. I'll talk to you soon.